Check 1 2, check 1 2. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday. Of course, if you wake up in Austin this morning, it is certainly a cold start to the day. Now, the one good thing I think about this forecast for today is that we didn't see as blustery of winds for this morning, so we weren't dealing with as low of wind chills like we were yesterday. Wind chills stayed in kind of the lower 20s, upper teens for this morning, and temperatures were about the same as they were yesterday around this time. So at the moment, let's take a look at those current temperatures around town, and then we'll get into the forecast that is expected for the rest of this week, which of course is ever changing. We probably won't have a really good pin down of the potential for that until a bit later on. Probably tomorrow will be a good time to get through that. And of course, I'll be live streaming tomorrow at about 9:30 in the morning as well, as always. All right, so temperatures for this morning. 9:36 is the time. We are sitting just above freezing for a lot of places right now, Austin included. San Marcos at 34, 32 in Georgetown. Still plenty of us at or even below freezing. Cameron, Blanco, Fredericksburg, and even Johnson City out there. Let's take a look at those current wind chills just so I can show you that they aren't as bad as they were yesterday. Here's it loaded up for you guys. So yeah, we're feeling more like the upper 20s rather than the lower 30s, which really isn't too big of a range out there. So certainly if you are headed out in the next few minutes, make sure that you have the layers, and make sure you have the layers with you for the rest of the week too, because of course we're going to start to see some changes here pretty soon. Now over the next 3 days for Wednesday, of course, we're going to notice those changes in conditions. We're going to wake up and we're going to see a pretty cloudy day out there. Now, our temperatures overnight are still expected to get to freezing, maybe a bit below freezing out there. So we're going to start the day again very cold, but the precipitation is not expected to start until late on Wednesday night. And our models continuously updating this morning are now hinting at things really starting up early on Thursday. We may not see any precipitation at all for our Wednesday. So we're just keeping with about a 10 to 20% chance for that late today. We can even probably change this to late night for midday today. I'll probably do that for a wintry mix. Now, we could also see, with the potential for a wintry mix, we could also just see potential patchy showers out there that are not freezing at all, just a little bit of rain out there. So that will be possible for Wednesday. Think about Wednesday. It's going to be cold, but you know those mornings that we kind of get that drizzle out there and the potential for some fog. Now that's kind of what we're going to be dealing with as we head into tomorrow. Due to kind of a shift in winds, we're going to boost up that moisture a little bit across our area. So that's going to bring in the potential for some clouds. Our wind speeds aren't going to get too much higher, so we may even see a bit of freezing fog out there tomorrow. I think that's certainly a possibility. We'll continue to keep track on that for you guys. And then as we head into Thursday, you see that 90% chance of a wintry mix or rain. Now, it depends on where you are. And like I said, our models are starting to really dwindle down on the potential for any freezing precipitation for our Thursday, which of course is good news, because while we, are going to be dealing with slick roads, freezing roads are a totally different scenario, and we certainly don't want to be seeing that across the I-35 corridor, because that is just going to make for a mess. Up in Dallas, you guys are certainly expecting some big changes over the next couple of days. I really do think they're calling for about 1 to 4 inches, but even up to 8 inches is certainly possible in some isolated areas and in some neighborhoods. So Dallas is going to be quite shut down over for Thursday. That's when that snow starts for them, and of course we're going to be experiencing the rain as well as the potential for some wintry mix or some freezing precipitation, mostly out there for the hill country. As for Friday, you'll see we got that 20% chance of a wintry mix in the morning hours. Now for the morning, this means like 5 a.m. and then after 7 a.m. I think at the latest, we're going to see much clearer conditions for the rest of the day there. So I actually let's look at one of our models, especially for all of Texas. I think it will be pretty interesting to look at. I've been showing this a little bit this morning. And we'll just kind of run through the night on Wednesday and then get into Thursday morning. So here's 8 p.m. on Wednesday. You can see we already have some snow showers out towards El Paso. Honestly, this is a big storm for many places in Texas. I think everybody is going to be impacted, if not by actual active weather, but you know, they're definitely going to see the cold kind of no matter where you are. I think maybe Brownsville would be the only place that doesn't see anything, but they're even dealing with a couple showers for tomorrow as well. So here's a look into 10 p.m. And you'll have to remember, as we head through the day Wednesday, there is going to be a lot of cloud cover overhead. So this is just the precipitation map. And you see we head into about 2 a.m. on Thursday. That's when we start to see some instances of potential showers, non-freezing showers, but also the potential for a wintry mix out there. And that occurs out towards Llano and Mason County and western portions of Gillespie County. So starting at Thursday, 2 a.m., at least for central Texas. Now, as we head towards the day on Thursday, let's just kind of shift into the morning hours of Thursday when most people are kind of headed out to work and stuff like that. You can see that most of the mix potential is going to be well to the north of us, probably around Waco. And then, of course, that freezing, that snow potential is going to be way up towards Dallas, well north of us. But you can see down here in Austin, just in the western areas of the Hill Country, we could see the potential for some freezing precipitation. Now, as for actual like accumulations or anything like that, not totally ironed out just yet. I actually do have a map that I'll show you guys in just a little bit to let you know what I'm thinking in regards to any sort of ice accumulation out there that we would be expecting at this point in time. And again, it is a very low chance. This is going to be a low end winter precipitation risk for our Thursday. And again, most of the day Thursday is going to be affected by the potential for a little bit of freezing rain out in the Hill Country, as well as a good bit of rain for Austin, as well as points to the east. So I'll bring this back up full just for a second. We'll head through the rest of our Thursday. Let's head into about noon time, because this is when things really ramp up in regards to widespread shower potential out there. So widespread showers expected in Austin. Of course, you can see a little bit of pink still occurring in the Hill Country. Some of these temperatures may not rise enough above freezing to be able to give us just rain for the day. I do think areas of the Hill Country will probably stay around 33 degrees throughout the whole day on Thursday, which is certainly going to make this forecast a little bit tricky for some. All right, so now we head into 3 p.m. on Thursday. Widespread showers, the potential for some of that freezing precipitation out in the Hill Country, still kind of that mainstay of that forecast continues. That stays until 6:30, and then we really are expected to see a big wash of that rain all across central Texas Thursday night. Now, I know it is going to be a big wash of rain, but the good news is this is going to move out quite quickly on Friday morning. So let's zoom into our Friday. About 12 a.m. you can see that line that sets up just to the north and west there. Here, I'll take this full. Just to the north and west here, this is going to be our kind of last cold front on the edge of the system that we're tracking, obviously. So you can see just how sharp that edge is. That's going to continue to move off to the east as we head throughout our Friday morning. And you can see this is midnight, Thursday into Friday. So this is going to be well out of our area, probably about 7 a.m. or maybe even potentially earlier. This is moving pretty fast. So that's for the whole of Texas. And you can see during that time frame, Dallas was just dealing with a lot of snow, a lot of potential for maybe some glazing out there. But it's just certainly going to be an interesting forecast for that area, because obviously they don't see, they see snow sometimes, but not all the time. So I don't know. I just don't like Texas and the winter weather and the road. It just doesn't go together. It doesn't make a lot lot of sense. People aren't really prepared, especially with some potential for like power outages as well. I'm just a little nervous for Thursday, especially for our friends up there in Dallas. I think it may kind of catch them. Although they're well prepared, I think some things will catch them by surprise. Okay, so let's head into our weather impact alert days. Now this is going to be Wednesday night into Thursday and throughout our Friday morning as well. So I'll pull this larger for you so we can just get a look at those threats. Of course, we just went over the time frame. As for the impact, we're really just calling for that wintry mix in the hill country. Now, this could occur for some spots on the I-35 corridor. You're going to want to take it slow on the road because those slick conditions can kind of, slip past even the radar if we're tracking the radar for freezing rain. Very possible that we could, just not see one little patch. It's also just very hard to get ground or like surface reports or observations here in the studio. Sometimes the radar is just not working the right way. So there may be slick spots where we don't see them. And I just want to say that because of course we're calling for the slick travel possible, but I just want to make sure that y'all are, I don't think anyone should be really traveling on Thursday anyway, but I just really think that should be honed in on that. This is going to be a big day of weather across all of Texas, not just Central Texas and not just North Texas. It is going to be, it's going to be a snow day for everyone, but not everyone is going to see snow. So that's what I'll say. All right. So for what you need to do, I just want to keep, reiterating the forecast for everyone, letting them know what's going on because, there's certainly the possibility for some changes as we head into the next 24 to 48 hours or so. Let's bring up the winter weather potential. And now this map has shifted around just a little bit, but I'll kind of explain what I think the shifts are and what I'm expecting to show for our midday show coming up at 11. So winter weather potential, again, Wednesday evening through Friday morning. Wintry mix is more likely over in this area, and it's even possible that they see a wintry mix or just some rain too. So the best likelihood is going to be out for these areas. That's basically Burnett County, Blanco County, and all the points to the west of that. And then of course our I-35 corridor and areas like Milam County too. The wintry mix is just going to be a possibility. It's going to be a very isolated possibility, but a possibility nonetheless. And then, but we're more so thinking the potential for that wintry mix is going to favor the hill country where those temperatures are just going to be like hovering between freezing, above freezing, below freezing. It's going to be hard to track, and it's going to be like an hour by hour type of thing that we're tracking throughout the day on Thursday. It's just going to need a little tender love and care and some attention for sure throughout the day on Thursday. All right, and then for the rest of us, I mean, I just kind of showed you guys the run through of that one model. I think most of us are just going to be seeing that rain across the area. There is going to be a lot of cold rain, and there may even start the day with the potential for a wintry mix. And then as we head through the afternoon and the evening, that just all trends back to rain just because it is going to be widespread and kind of heavy rain. And I do think some of that friction could just, warm up the atmosphere enough that we just see a lot of chilly rain across the area, which I don't know. I mean, it's going to lower some visibilities. It's something you need to pay attention to. Again, not something I want people traveling in across Texas, but rain would be better than snow, of course, or a wintry mix out there. Rain would be better than ice, I should say. All right, so let's actually dive a little bit deeper, because the National Weather Service put out a map or sent it to us as our broadcast meteorologist this morning, and I kind of revamped it for myself, and I do actually like it a lot. So we'll go ahead and show it. I've been showing it on the morning show this morning. So here is the probability of ice accumulation of 1/10 of an inch. So 1/10 of an inch does not seem like that much. That is just a light glaze out there. So this is where we're thinking we could possibly see a bit of some glaze. Now you'll see that the I-35 corridor, just a 10 to 20% chance, mostly just a 10% chance, but as you head out towards the hill country, that changes into a 20 to 30% chance, and then also out way towards the western hill country, that goes into a 30 to 40% chance. And really that 30 to 40% chance is just here in Gillespie County and maybe a couple southern areas of Llano and Mason County. So very specific spot, and again, that's only a 30 to 40% chance, less than a 50% chance that you're going to see any freezing precipitation or a glaze out there. So very low end risk for these areas. And again, this is mostly the hill country. Not a lot is expected for that I-35 corridor, but again, it's just that isolated possibility that we just want to kind of discourage that you guys are out on the roads as much as this morning. I know everyone kind of got back to work today, or at least this week, so it's going to be kind of annoying to stay home on Thursday when we're trying to start our new year back again. But I do think it is certainly worthwhile just to say that travel should not really be a big option on Thursday. I think if you can go a couple short stints, or if your work is nearby, that's okay. But you know, heading out to the Cotton Bowl, heading up to Dallas, Thursday is not going to be the day to do it. If you are going to the Cotton Bowl, I'm going to say head out Wednesday before all of this hits, because at that point, 6:30 p.m. in Dallas, all of this weather is going to be pretty much cleared out by Friday afternoon and evening. Honestly, it's going to be cleared out by Friday morning. So, but then you just can't trust that the roads are going to be cleared. So if you are needing to be at that Cotton Bowl, I would please suggest that you do it Wednesday. Even Wednesday night has a better has a better chance for good travel than I would say Friday morning does, because you just, you know, with all of this snow coming into Dallas, I mean, it's just, you just can't rely that those roads are going to be clear enough to travel in a good fashion. I mean, or at least some sort of sustainable fashion. Like it's just going to be interesting. So let's actually move into closer to home. We have that future track that I showed you guys for all of Texas, but let's just zoom into Central Texas for a minute here, just so we can understand exactly what kind of shifts we are thinking about for the next couple of days. All right, let's just start off with Wednesday morning. Here's a look at 7 a.m. We are expecting chilly conditions once again in the upper 20s, lower 30s. You kind of know the business, or the, you know, weather story mostly. By 2 p.m., we're still seeing clouds in the air. Those northerly winds still kind of blowing through the area. And then as we head into Wednesday night, let's head towards 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. You'll see we're mostly just tracking those clouds out there. It won't be until like overnight into Thursday, midnight or past midnight, that we start to see the potential for some of that winter weather out there. So you can see out there in the hill country are areas which have the greatest likelihood for maybe a bit of a glaze of ice out there. That is going to be Mason, Llano, and Gillespie County. And you can see those temperatures actually at the surface are a bit too warm for things to be freezing on contact once they make it to the ground. This is really going to be a hit or miss kind of forecast, because 1 degree off or on is going to make all the difference. So heading into our Thursday morning, let's kind of get into those. Sorry. Let's kind of get into those more like bigger commuter hours. You can see that a lot of this is just remaining pretty isolated out there. And then of course that mix of frozen precipitation that again stays to the north of us or to the northwest of us. Most of us will just be feeling the potential for that cold rain out there. And also these temperatures are expected, I mean 35 in Burnett, that could mean potential freezing weather as it kind of hits the ground. So that's what we're going to be watching. Now, I would say that even more so, I know Thursday's our big day for weather, but even more so, past noon on Thursday is going to be when you want to be home and just chilling, because it is going to be quite an interesting day out there after that. So here's a look at 12 p.m. You can see some of our temperatures dwindling into the lower 30s, 34 out there in Burnett, Johnson City at 36, 35 in Fredericksburg. So we certainly could see some wintry mix out there, but mostly what we're going to be tracking is rain. Now let me show you, when I say rain, it is going to be a lot of rain. widespread rain across our area. Here's a look at 4 p.m. Look at these pretty heavy downpours too. This is going to be wide stretched. As for the chances for rain, that's why we're giving it a 90% chance for precipitation on Thursday, because I think every single person is going to see some sort of rain as we head through our Thursday. Now let's shift into Thursday night. Here's a look at 6:30. You'll still see those heavy downpours. Now another thing that I want to talk about with the travel is going to be the rain. I mean, with rain like this, pretty heavy, widespread rain, doesn't even matter about the freezing precipitation. With rain like this all across the area, it's just going to create for bad visibilities out there, and you mix that with some slick conditions. I mean, yeah, you couldn't pay me to be traveling in this. So that's 6:30 on Thursday. So those are commuter hours. It only gets heavier from here, 8:30 p.m. And then we head into midnight, which I like the looks of midnight, but you can see just how widespread that rain is. I don't think we've seen really a rain event like this here in Austin in a while. It has really, I think it's been a few years, to be honest, because this whole thing is lighting up green or yellow. So as for that future track, okay, this is midnight Friday. That cold front comes in behind it and is going to push it all out to the east. And as we head towards 3 a.m. and eventually, well, I actually don't think that this model even goes that far out. Oh, yes, it does. Here we go. Yeah, by 6 a.m. on Friday, most of us are clear, dealing with cooler conditions. Once again, we get like a last shot of cold air for the weekend, which will take us down likely to about 30 degrees to start off our Saturday, but it should be pretty good as we're heading towards the weekend, which is always good news. Oh, yeah, towards the weekend, 6 a.m. Friday. But then we have all the rest of Friday night to go, which will be clear for us and Dallas and areas of San Antonio. So that's good news. All right, well, it is 9:56 this morning. I am going to hop off. I like to hop off just about an hour before midday so I can change up some graphics, kind of let have a new fresh show for everybody, some updated conditions, because we are seeing a lighter potential for that freezing precipitation as we head through our Thursday. Again, still the greatest risk for that freezing precipitation is going to be out towards the hill country, just even less of a risk than it was even 24 hours ago. And again, that could change. Models could really ramp up the potential for that cold weather in the hill country or freezing weather in the hill country, which in that case would make for some freezing rain out there. So we'll continue to track this for you guys. I'm going to hop off and I will see you all at midday at 11 here on KVUE.